I'm reading two books here, Superworm and Tabby McTat, and they're by Julie Donaldson and Alex Schiefler. And I like these books because they're rhyming books. Now this is Superworm. It's quite a big book. Superworm is super long. Superworm is super strong. Watch him wiggle, watch him squirm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm. Help! Disaster! Baby Toad has hopped onto a major road. Quick! Whatever can we do? Look! A Superworm lasso. The bees are feeling bored today. They need a nice new game to play. Cheer up, bees. No need to mope. What are they going to do, Granddad? No need to mope. It's Superworm, the skipping rope. Beetle's fallen in the well. Is she drowning? Who can tell? Not to panic. All is fine. Did she stand there, Granddad? She's a bit worried. It's Superworm, the fishing line. Save the day. Then toads and beetles, bees and bugs, brothers snails and sister slugs, Uncle Ant and earwig aunt, clap and cheer and chant this chant. Superworm is super long, Superworm is super strong. Watch him wiggle, see him squirm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm. He's all their friends, Granddad. The chant is carried on the ear to Wizard Lizard in his lair. He mutters in his servant's ear, find that worm and bring him here. The servant's crow is black and grim. Everybody is scared of him. They all let out a fearful shriek to see their hero in his beak. Oh dear. The wizard waves his magic flower. Now Superworm, you're in my power, and you must tunnel, writhe and coil to find me treasure in the soil. Superworm is very cross to have a lizard as his boss, but when he tries to slink away, the wizard's magic makes him stay. Oh dear. For days he tunnels, twists and winds, but all the treasure that he finds is two small buttons, half a cork, a toffee and a plastic fork. The lizard flicks an angry tail. Have one last try, and if you fail to find that treasure down below, I'll feed you too, my hungry crow. Ooh. I don't think there's any treasure under the dirt there, Granddad. Sometimes there might be, but not this time. The crow is flapping through the night. Everyone looks up in fright. They see him perch upon an oak and listen to his dreadful croak. Superworm is good to eat. Superworm's a special treat. He'll be juicy, fat and firm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm. Action quickly at the double. Superworm is in frightful trouble. We must help him if we can. We must hatch a cunning plan. They're all his friends, Grandad.
Snails and frogs.
Yeah, and they're going to try and save him. The garden creatures leave their home carrying a honeycomb. They jump and fly and crawl and creep and find the lizard fast asleep. They chew the petals off his flower to rob him of his magic power. The caterpillars fetch some leaves, and while busily the spider weaves. The spider's weaving this beautiful web. Spiders are good like that. The web is strong, the web is tough, the web is plenty big enough. The wizard wakes. This isn't funny. I'm wrapped in leaves and stuck with honey. Then up the bees and beetles fly and lift the web into the sky. Oh, good. They're going to take him away. So he's not going to be a bother to them anymore. This is the place, and bam, crash, thump. The wizard's in the rubbish dump. And now from somewhere underground there comes a distant rumbling sound. The earth begins to heave, and then Superworm is back again. Yay!
Okay, do you want to read the other one, Grandma?
No, I can finish.
Oh, we're not finished.
Superworm the swing, the slide, the hula hoop, the fairground ride. Superworm the belt, the hat, the crane, the train, the acrobat. Yay! They're all back. Then toads and beetles, bugs and bees and bugs, brother snails and sister slugs, Uncle Ant and earwig aunt, clap and cheer and chant this chant. Superworm is super long, Superworm is super strong. Watch him wiggle, see him squirm. Hip hip hooray for Superworm. Should we just carry on with this one, Granddad? This is called Tabby McTat. with a meow that was loud and strong. The two of them sang of this and that, and people threw coins in the old checkered hat, and this was their favourite song. Me, you, and the old guitar, how perfectly, perfectly happy we are. Meow and the old guitar, how perfectly happy we are. One morning while Fred ate some bacon and bread, McTat took a stroll round the block, then stopped, for there on a doorstep sat a gorgeously glossy and green-eyed cat. She was black with one snowy white sock. Sock and McTat had a cat-to-cat chat, and that's how their story began, for while they were chatting of this and of that, a thief had his eye on the old checkered hat. He eyed it, he snatched it, he ran. The busker gave chase, but he tripped on a lace, and crash, in a flash he was down. He broke his leg and he banged his head, and he ended up in hospital bed in a faraway part of town. That would be Maddie looking after him, Grandad. Yeah. Had to go in the ambulance.
Maddie's a good nurse.
Yeah. Goodbye, McTat said. I must go back to Fred. But where had the busker gone? The sun went down and the sky grew black. The stars came out, but he didn't come back. McTat lingered on and on. He's looking a bit sad, Grandad. He's worried. A week later, Sock took a stroll round the block and found her new friend looking thin. He's gone off and left me, said Tabby McTat. Then Sock said, my people, Prunella and Pat, would gladly find room for a fine tabby cat. She was right, and they took McTat in. Oh, he's got a smile now, Grandad.
That's good.
But he's still worried about old McTat, his old friend. Next morning, old Fred left his hospital bed and found his way back to the square. But a brass band stood where the pair once sat, and the band played this and the band played that. And Fred looked all round for his loud meowed cat, but Tabby McTat wasn't there. There's a doggy down there, and a pigeon. There's lots of pigeons. Now McTat had a wife and a very full life with plenty of things to do, like washing Prunella and pouncing on Pat, hiding the car keys under the mat, keeping the newspapers nice and flat, giving the pens an occasional bat, nibbling this and nibbling that. But he dreamed of his friend in the old checkered hat, and always woke up with a meow, because he's happy there too, really. And often he said, what's happened to Fred? And his paws took him back to the square. But a conjurer stood where the pair once sat, and he pulled out this and he pulled out that, and people threw coins in the tall black hat, but the busker was never there. One morning, Sock said, look under the bed and see the 3 kittens I've had. And Soames looked like this, and Susan looked like that, and the littlest kitten, called Samuel Spratt, looked exactly the same as his dad. The 3 kittens grew and they learned how to mew, and McTat sometimes sang them his song, and Samuel Spratt with his tabby grey fur had a deafening meow and a very loud purr, and he simply loved singing along. Me, you, and the old guitar, how perfectly, perfectly happy we are. Meow and the old guitar, how perfectly happy we are. When Susan and Soames found very good homes, their parents were happy and proud. There was one home like this, and one home like that. I think I like that home, Grandad, with chickens and rabbits. But nobody wanted poor Samuel Spratt. They all said, his voice is too loud. Now, Tabby McTat was a home-loving cat, but he couldn't stop dreaming of Fred. And one day he called for his wife and his son, and he told them, there's something that has to be done. I must go and find them, he said. So up and down and all over town he wandered a whole week long, for many a morning and afternoon by the light of the sun and the light of the moon, till he heard a familiar sound. Look, Granddad, someone's following him. I think that's this baby, Samuel Spratt. Just me and my old guitar. If I had a cat, I'd be happy by far. Just me and the old guitar. With my cat, I'd be happier far. It's Tabby McTat, my long-lost cat. Old Fred was ecstatically glad. Then the two of them sang of this and that, and people threw coins in a new checkered hat. There they go. Making money. But But why did McTat feel sad? He was missing his wife and his comfortable life, the dozens of things to do, like washing Prunella and pouncing on Pat and hiding the car keys under the mat, keeping the newspapers nice and flat, giving the pens an occasional bat. But how could he tell the busker that? Then out from his shadow sprang Samuel Spratt. "Oh, please let me be the busker's cat," he said with his deafening meow. Now Samuel Spratt is the busker's cat, with a meow that is loud and strong. The two of them sing of this and that though Samuel sings with a little bit flat. And people throw coins in the old checkered hat. And this is their favourite song. "Me, you and the old guitar, how perfectly, perfectly happy we are. Meow and the old guitar, how perfectly happy we are."
The end.